saying out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again on a Wednesday. Evan's still kinda gay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Okay, everybody from the LGBTQRST plus community, my pronouns are HEB. Okay? Anyway, I'm part of the HEB plus community. That's a deep Texas reference. Nobody likes Texas more than Texas, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is at the end of the day. I think one day I will run for public office, and all I will do is my speech will say, when I am campaigning as a politician in Texas, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there and I'm just going to say, HEB. And it's going to get a chant from the crowd. They're going to go, yeah. And I'm going to go, Whataburger. They're going to be like, yeah. HEB Plus. Yeah. Buc-ee's. Yeah. Kolaches. Yeah. And I'm going to go, Terry Blacks. They're going to go, kind of overrated. And I'm going to go, Stubbs. Academy. And everybody's going to faint. Listen, that was a little bit ridiculous, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the first day of summer officially. Well, I guess it's tomorrow for you. But I'm in the first day of summer. That's why your boy is dressed all tropical-like. Okay? It's just the beginning of a new season. Seasons mean different things at what different age brackets that you're in. When you're a kid, I feel like it's so weird. That's why what's amazing about being a kid is years went by so slow. It was like, do you remember when it was December and you're like, holy shit, it's going to be Christmas this month. And you're just like counting down the days. I remember as a kid having like a chain thing where every day I'd rip off a thing, be like, we got 14, motherfucker, like counting down the days till it was going to be Christmas. Now I am that old person who's just like, damn, it's almost the end of June. I sound like my goddamn father. Okay? That's who I'm becoming. I'm slowly morphing into my pops. Okay? Because I'll be sitting there and I'll be talking to someone. I'm like, damn, can you believe it's almost July? Damn, where'd the time go? It's just crazy how time just starts picking up. And to quote my father again, time waits for nobody. Okay? It just starts going, just picking up speed. And that's what's happening with life. Isn't it weird? Like time when you got to pay bills, that payment date just spins around like revolution. You're like, these 30-day cycles. Fucking me up, bro. Fucking me up. Almost as fucked up as Biden by a bicycle. You know what I don't like to see? I don't like to see when a leisure activity can almost take out the leader of the free world. And then he blames it. Dude, why? What's happening here? What's happening here? The leader of the free world almost got taken out by a bicycle malfunction. It's crazy. He didn't even take responsibility for that going wrong. He blamed it on my foot got stuck. Who put these feet on me? That's what he's saying. Come on, man. I got these feet. Oh, these feet in the friggin' Michael. Dude, I'm surprised he didn't do that. He goes, these feet, and I don't know, Putin tax he put on my feet. Come on, man. Sorry, I'm just starting to work out a Biden impression because I've never done a Biden impression ever. But it's something I think I need to get that in my back pocket and be able to pull it out. A lot of people, I posted a little clip of it. Listen, I comment on things that are it doesn't matter if it's political to me. If it's ridiculous, I'm gonna comment on it. If it's something, if it's political, I don't give a shit. Okay. I'm not a political person in the sense I have no party affiliation. Okay. I go with what makes sense. And what's happening now isn't making sense. I don't give two shits about the way people talk about how a president is, how they speak. I don't give a fuck. Listen, if someone does a job good, they should do that job. Do you know how many people, like the president of the United States shouldn't be this polarizing figure that becomes a celebrity. And that's what's happened is, obviously the last president we had became a very polarizing figure, but it's also even before that. Everybody always kind of takes shots at the president. You got George W. Bush, everybody took shots at him. And then you had Barack Obama. It's like they became these huge celebrities with influence past just being the president. There are so many probably military people that do such an amazing job, but if you saw the way they were doing it and the way they spoke personally, you would think they were horrible. They were pieces of shit. But for some reason, we have the president, everybody cared so much. There's so much. Say what you will about the previous president we had. I didn't like the way he was with, talking and everything, and he could have definitely been better. But when it came to actually getting stuff done and prices and exports, there were some benefits that we were having financially that were, okay, this is working. And the media just twists things and makes things look terrible and divisive. And he didn't help that at all. Was he the greatest person? No, I don't think so. But what's happening now is kind of chaos. And again, it's not me being political. And the reason why I bring that up is I got a lot of DMs. I got people very upset with your boy about even attacking a president and being like they think just because I'm poking fun at this, like I don't poke fun at Trump or anything like that. Dude, I would make fun of Trump all the time when he was in office. He's a ridiculous character, okay? And I make fun of things that are ridiculous. What's ridiculous now? Gas prices. What was ridiculous is our president almost being assassinated by a bicycle. That's not crazy to anybody. That's not crazy that our president has dementia and nobody's talking about that. And everybody wants to talk about, oh, is it any worse than what we had before? Hey, shut the fuck up. It's a terrible scale to try to measure, is to justify what's going on with the current situation. It's goddamn scary. Okay. It's goddamn scary. Listen, I've been told, I've been a little doom and gloom lately with the podcast, and I apologize to the people that I've stressed out. But listen, we got to be honest with this shit. It gets a little wild sometimes. All right. Inflation's real. All this shit is real. Everybody's worried about putting pronouns in their goddamn email signatures, and we're not worried about this fucking avalanche that's coming down the mountains. Okay. Everybody's over here trying to make snowmen at the base level, and there's a goddamn avalanche coming. And it's like, hey, we should not focus on the snowman right now, and we need to focus on this avalanche. All right. I think by nature, all I care about and all I look at is this silly? Is this a weird way to live life? And I feel like the way we are is a weird way to live life. I think about it a lot with social media and influence and just the way people react. I feel like everybody, and I blame so much more than just the individual. If people feel a certain way about any president, I really don't give a shit. I really don't. You can support whoever you want. You can make fun of whoever you want. I don't feel like anybody is above that. You can make fun of me and my silly shirt as much as you want. Make fun of my hair. You can make fun of my silly facial hair. Okay. You can make fun that I have kind of a larger head than usual. Okay. I have kind of had this same size head since I was a little kid. All right. I now just have the neck muscles to support it. Okay. Did they used to call me the alien when I was a kid? Yeah, they did. It was warranted. I had a big head. I enjoyed it. I accepted it. All right. But listen, when shit gets crazy, we got to call it out. We got to at least acknowledge that this is wild. And by all means, I'm not a finance guy. Okay. I'm not a political guy. I probably talk about out my ass about half the shit I talk about, but it's just the way I feel. And the way I feel is that we've all gotten a little crazy. And I blame a lot of it on not even the person. I feel like it's the algorithm. I say the algorithm because it kind of feels like life is an algorithm now. Everybody wash, rinse, repeat through a funnel that makes this all go around. Okay. People just swiping. They're on their phone. They're scrolling. They're getting all their dopamine drained from scrolling. Ever since I listened to this neuroscientist podcast about how dangerous it is to scroll and how you have to protect your dopamine releases, I've looked at everything differently. Because if you just scroll and you deplete all your dopamine, you go into a painful state of where you're chasing this fill. So you're very irritated. And I think that's what happens is some people went into the pandemic and they never really came out the same. They never really came out the same. I have friends that I'm like, we can barely conversate anymore because you're a different person. What happened in there? And I think what happened is people got scared. They went on their phones. They got stuck there. They lost all their dopamine, got put into an irritated state. And now they're just set off by everything because they're completely drained and they're in an irritated state. And it's like what seems normal, when you got so deep down the rabbit hole, it's kind of crazy. It's an interesting thing. So I'm trying to do a lot more stuff that's off technology. Like I think I talked about in the last episode, just being off in the first hour and a half of my day. I'm not, on social media. I'm not texting. I'm not calling. No emails. I'm just going through and living my life. But yeah, what we're going to talk about? Oh yeah, this weekend, dude, I tried something that changed my life. Okay. I fucked up. Actually, it's my girl's fault. She fucked up, but I fucked up by even partaking. Okay. Listen, sometimes your boy gets a sweet tooth. Okay. I get a sweet tooth. And sometimes on Sundays, I just like to stay in. Okay. People like to listen. Since I have my own business, I have to plan when to take breaks and stuff, or else I'll just work myself ragged and I'll be a complete mess. So I like to go out and do fun stuff in the middle of the week rather than on the weekend. And then I stay in on the weekend or do show or just avoid the crowds. I don't want to do the weekend warrior shit. I'm doing stuff at the crib. I'm working on projects. But on Sundays, I just like to chill out. Don't go anywhere. But when Sunday evening rolled around, your boy wanted some sweet treat, maybe some chocolate, something like a Zevia, something with some sparkling water. Okay, I'm just a little lab rat at the end of the day. I've been hooked on that processed stuff since I was a kid. So we go to CVS. There's one a few blocks away. We're like, let's not even go to a grocery store. Let's just go there. I didn't want to go all the way. Gas is too expensive. I drive a truck, right? It's my own fault. She finds these chips. She says, hey, look at these. She wanted some chips. I said, oh, ghost peppers. Okay. Had warning labels all over the bag. And then I'm like, those are ghost peppers. I just need you to know that. I think they're going to be very hot. She goes, yeah, we've gotten ghost pepper chips from Trader Joe's. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that was Trader Joe's. And I'll tell you guys right now, even thinking about this now, my willy's tingling. Okay. We decide to buy these chips that have the warning labels all over them. Warning labels. I'm like, oh, that's cute branding. We get these chips back home. Actually, we open them in the car. Okay. This is where you fuck up because you put yourself in a vulnerable state. Open the bag in the car. We start eating these chips. After 2 or 3 chips, I'm like, oh, wow, this is really good. Like the flavor is really good. There is an incredible lava sensation flowing through my mouth. And I'm like, holy shit. It just attacks me. It was a slow release of these ghost peppers. I see why they call them ghost peppers because they just show up later and haunt your mouth. My eyes start leaking. Which is a bad thing because once you choke on a pepper or like any kind of hot thing, it it like sucks everything up into your whole life. You're all fucked up. So now it's starting to leak out of my orifices. Okay. And my eyes are starting to leak. My nose is starting to water. But my mouth is so hot that the only thing that is stopping it from going past the point I can control it is to keep eating more chips. So I keep eating more chips to try to get away from this. And as I'm eating it, I know I'm going deeper and deeper into hell, but it's like, if you're going through hell, you just got to keep moving. You know that quote? I finally get back home. She's also in the same state. And we get the milk out, the oat milk, and we just start drinking oat milk. I remember seeing Gordon Ramsay on Hot Ones start squeezing lemons and drinking the lemon juice, something about the acid. I'm like I'm fucking Gordon Ramsay. I'm like, fucking hell. And I'm like drinking fucking lemon juice. And then since I'm in such a frazzled state, I'm like, I gotta go pee. I don't know why, but I just had to go pee. Okay. It's a normal thing when I get home, I go pee. When I finish, I wash my hands. I go back out to the kitchen. All of a sudden, a burning sensation on my willy. Okay? I fucked up. I didn't even think about it. Stupid rookie mistake. I held my willy with my ghost chip hand. Okay? I got all that seasoning and good stuff all over my willy. Literally on fire. The worst feeling ever. Oh man, it was brutal. Felt like it got all in my pee hole and everything. I don't know how it made its way. The thing had fucking roller skates. I had to get in the shower and feverishly wash myself. And it was brutal. It was something I never want to experience again. And my stomach burned. I feel like even now, that was on Sunday. It's Tuesday now. I feel like I have an ulcer in my stomach from the hot ass ghost peppers. Okay. So I don't fuck with that shit. You know how people do like the challenges? Listen, I would do hot ones just because it's hot ones. But when it comes to like, the friends who would just like, this is the 17th hottest hot sauce on the planet. And I have a little card that verifies. It's like, why the fuck do you want that? Okay. It's like when people have fucking rattlesnakes as pet. I'm like, why? It's a matter of time before this turns on you. It's the same thing with hot sauce. It's a matter of time before this turns on you and rattlesnakes your asshole. Okay? Because let's talk about it. That's only the first assault, is it actually burning your mouth. Okay? You got to think about the exit. That's where the real pain and suffering comes in, because it's just round 2 and you don't have as much control. You can't stick milk up there. You just got to deal with it. You just got to put that bidet on and let it do its thing. You got to try to get in there. You got a world traveler. You got to try to interstellar that balloon knot. You know what I'm saying? This has gotten ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. What has happened to this podcast? We are going to have, I'm hoping for the next episode, we are going to have a guest on. I'm going to start having guests on again. I'm going to have a guest on from Beauty and the Beast on the next episode. No, we're going to start having guests again, because that's what this podcast was supposed to be. And then it just turned into, I don't know if you know this, but this podcast started right at the pandemic beginning, like right before. And we were having guests and everything. And, it just took a turn. It just took a turn. But ladies and gentlemen, guests are coming soon. What kind of current events do we have? We'll talk about this one. A Bernese python hunt in Florida Everglades is slated for August. It's flanked by a huge writhing snake. Governor Ron DeSantis announced on Thursday that the annual prize-winning hunt for invasive Bernese pythons in the Florida Everglades will begin August 5th. People will register and complete an online training course for the event. So people will be able to hunt pythons for money in Florida next month. Listen, if I wasn't moving to Texas, Florida might have been the next move. Just with the way they are, the way DeSantis handled the pandemic, and the way they're kind of fucking crazy, I'm kind of here for it. Okay? But I'll be real with you. Florida's a little too crazy. Florida's a little too crazy. Florida seems like it would be a dope spot to visit, and if you were single, to just live, and if you just wanted to live out like a Lord of the Flies existence, I feel like Florida is the way you can do it. I feel like in Florida, you can live any lifestyle and not have any judgment. Like there's people just out there walking around with pythons and alligators, and you got like 60-year-old dudes dating 19-year-olds and just fucking smoking big cigars. I feel like that just happens in Florida. I feel like Florida is like the Vegas if it was a state, you know? If Vegas was a whole state, it would be Florida, right? But if you add like rice and beans to it, okay, because there's a huge Latin culture in Florida. That's probably why Florida's so dope. Could you imagine Florida without any Hispanic people? What would it be? Just swamp tours? Which I want to do again. I'm planning a trip to New Orleans here pretty soon. Some people hate New Orleans. Listen, I loved it. I went there a couple years ago. I'm not really like a Bourbon Street. Is it Bourbon Street kind of guy? I'm more of I like to explore it, dude. The ghost tours there, the history in New Orleans, the red beans and rice, the great food that they have there, and the gator tours. The swamp tours are great. I went there and I had a gay old time with my buddy. We went on there and there was a Cajun man. He was just giving a gator tour. And he said, oh, what the fuck was the name? You go down there, boo-boo will fuck you up, baby. And he just kept calling everybody boo-boo. I remember he told me to move. He was like, hey, boo-boo, I need you to move there real quick, boo-boo. And I was like, all right, boo-boo. But Florida's fucking crazy. Python hunts. Why can't we do shit like this in Texas? That's what I wonder about is, let's talk about it. Do we think what happens in America in the next 10 years? The next 10 years are going to be kind of crazy. I feel like we have to see what these next couple years turn into because there's so much stuff going on. And the thing is it's like, it's reality. I am in a weird situation because it's like, I'm not financially set in my life. I'm not someone like, I'm a few bad months away from like, if things went bad for like 5 or 6 months, like real bad, I would be screwed, you know? And I feel like that's most people is being, people I think are even worse off where it's like, no, they're 1 month away. If something just shuts down for a month or two and there's no resources, they're screwed. Things could get bad because it's like when you start looking at inflation and you start looking at the cost of living going up, and then you see that what people are actually making and like salaries aren't raising with inflation, hourly wages aren't raising with inflation. So it's like, what's going to start happening? And then you have food shortages and all these chickens that are coming in the roost from the early pandemic of us just being like, hey, the economy can't just stop. You know, even though everybody was just like, remember when everybody was just like, stay home, be a hero? It was ridiculous. That was like, well, how is everything going to keep moving? Like this the economy doesn't just like a switch on and off. It's going to be like some, this is the wildest thing. Remember when restaurants, everybody was saying like, be a hero, get takeout. Like, don't cook tonight, just get takeout, be a hero. Like, Domino's, it was just like stop the spread with free cheesy bread, you know? It's so ridiculous. But I feel like in reality, and maybe this is me being pessimistic. Maybe it's me being a little doomsday prepper. Maybe the things are right. Maybe I need to take mushrooms and just go about my life. But I feel like we're in a weird balance of life with this stuff with Russia and everything rising. Like I'm kind of always kind of been like, let's look ahead a little bit and try to plan for this, because then you don't get caught, you know, in a bad place. And if everything just starts, you know, going bad, what happens in 10 to 15 years? What does it look like? And, you know, with gas prices, I mean, I'm even in the market looking for a Prius. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. I thought they were the weirdest little cars. They're starting to look cooler. But there has to be, it is the green gas, the green vehicle initiative. When you start looking at all the steps that are being taken to try to wedge out, oil and everything like that in the car industry, it's pretty crazy. I'm not really a conspiracy person. The pandemic and just life kind of turned me into I don't trust these motherfuckers kind of person. If something makes sense, I believe it. And it's kind of crazy that a lot of conspiracies at the beginning of the pandemic ended up being true. Just kind of nuts. But there was so much stuff coming up about green cars and this electric vehicles that was almost like all the steps being put in place to try to raise gas prices, to try to push people towards fuel efficient cars. And while I don't think that initiative is bad, it's just like when it's done in a sneaky way, it just feels dirty. That's the thing is if fuel efficient cars are reliable and they're affordable and it's a better option, I have no problem doing it. I have no problem doing a lot of stuff if it actually works, but if it's not being manipulated. Like when you start looking at the homeless problem, even in California, when you see how much funding and everything is going towards some of these problems, but nothing's actually getting fixed. And you come to find out the amount of funding going towards the homeless problem in California is something like enough to pay $100,000 to every homeless person a year. It's kind of crazy that you could be like, no, here's a 6-figure salary. Just stop being homeless. It's not efficient. And then it's like where you just give all this money to Ukraine. I sound like goddamn Fox News right now. Okay, listen. I sound like that because it just feels like we're in crazy times, But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope all is going well in your wife. And just had a stroke and your Freminipafim. Yep. That was another video that people got mad at me about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. I know this was an interesting episode. Your boy all over the place. Okay. But listen, I'm a reflection of society, baby. When things get a little weird out there, your boy is going to reflect it. All right. But everything is all good here. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I'm excited to hopefully have a guest next week. And y'all just stay rocking in the free world, okay? And stop the spread with free cheesy bread. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.